What's going on? It's your boy Connor Conflict, and we are back again. This is a video I didn't really plan on making. I was kind of just gonna not say anything, just because I'm not necessarily educated or the right person to say anything. However, I'm not really gonna be saying much. I'm just going to break it down from the Dolphins fan perspective. What's been going on? Dolphins fans just can't catch a break, man. The surprise firing of Flores, and then candidates we want, we don't want, and it finally seemed to be narrowed down to McDaniel. And then the bombshell lawsuit Brian Flores filed against the NFL in all 32 of its teams, but most notably the Dolphins, Broncos, and Giants. Yeah, just unfortunate. So I'm going to break down the small parts of it and leave it at that. I'm not going to speak out on too much because there's a lot of things that necessarily aren't confirmed, although probably are true. Well, I'm just going to start off with this. Brian Flores, from what I've seen, I obviously don't know anyone personally, but just from what I thought I perceived from him being the Dolphins head coach was that this isn't something like he doesn't like attention. Like he doesn't want to do media. Like for him to go out and do what he's doing means I don't even see means anything. But to my perspective, seems to be he wouldn't do this unless there was true purpose behind it, and which is why I'm more inclined to believe what he's saying is true. And we'll get into this what he's claiming. I'm sure everyone who's watching this already knows. But once again, my perspective of him, he's not someone who's motivated by money or attention to try and just screw over organizations because he didn't get hired or he got fired. This is something that he felt he needed to do to make a stand because he's seen it happen long enough and he thought he could do it. Obviously, if he got the job, he's not doing this, but why would he? So I want to get out of the way. I think Flores is a good man. You see, he's worked for everything in his life. He loves coaching. He's not going to just destroy his reputation for the sake of trying to get attention or make money. I think that's just silly in my eyes to claim that. So to get into the speculation, I'll just cover the Dolphins end of it. So once again, I'm sure you guys all know this, but I'm just going to break down. He alleged that Stephen Ross was offering him $100K per loss in the initial 2019 season, which was the tank for two a year, mind you, to incentivize him to basically lose games because he didn't want to hurt the draft position. Flores basically said, no, I'm not doing that, which, once again, if that's true, good for Flores. So there was that. And then in that following offseason, Flores is claiming that Ross wanted him to not collude, I'm blanking on the word, but basically not follow NFL protocol prior to free agency, meeting with Tom Brady to try and convince him to come to Miami. Flores denied both times, and this is where Flores claims there to be, from those two instances, his divide throughout the organization was not repairable, I guess you could say. And you could say, well, then why didn't they fire him then, or the following? I think it's maybe because he exceeded expectations, so they're trying to limit fan backlash, and that's why they did it this season. That's an argument. Once again, it's a lot of he said, she said. We don't truly know the truth, which is why I'm going to kind of not hold too much judgment in this video because there's going to be more information that comes out. So just from that perspective, that's why you can see that. So then, those were the two main things against the Dolphins. He was claiming that because we labeled he was difficult to work with, he's claiming that those were the reasonings. Now, a potential combative, and once again, like I said, this is just me thinking out loud. We don't know anything. I do find it hard to fully believe the fact that they weren't meshing well together, simply being based off the tanking and the Tom Brady situation when you consider there's been 2 seasons since, and there's a major storyline throughout this entire third season about Deshaun Watson and that trying to basically trade for him and replace Tua. Now, during the season, I perceived that as like a front office ownership pursuing Watson. But then, obviously, he got fired and they pinned it on Flores. But that would be a potential reason for not wanting to collaborate. And there's none of that's addressed. Once again, these are just me saying things, but I don't know if I necessarily believe failing to properly tank is the reason he got fired. But let me say this. The fact that Stephen Ross was trying to pay him to lose games, if there's any truth to that, if it becomes proven, the NFL should force him to sell the team and we get new ownership and get rid of all this shenanigans that's been going on for the past fucking 20 years. So maybe we can actually be a competent organization because we failed to do so. With that said, I think it's very commendable what Flores is doing. He's standing up for black coaches because they have not been treated properly. It's a combination of things. The Rooney Rule was there to try and get more black head coaches, but it also leads to bad interviews that aren't necessary. So I think there's an approach that needs to be taken, just not that one. Because, like I said, he cited multiple sham interviews, and that's not acceptable. But they do need to do something to try and give these guys opportunities. So it's a tough balance. I don't have the answer to that. I'm just a fucking idiot. But I think what he's doing is commendable for trying to stand up for the people and all the things that have happened throughout the years that no one else has been willing to do. He's putting his career on the line. And I think that, once again, I think that's commendable. And I don't think it's something he would do just based off my perception of him, because he's worked for everything he's had. He loves football. He doesn't seek money or attention. So, once again, I could be wrong. I don't know the guy, but that's how I perceive him. I think what he's doing is commendable on the front of trying to stand up for black coaches, getting more opportunities between coordinators and head coaches, because there's literally one black head coach in the league. So change doesn't need to be made. I think what he's doing is very, very cool. As for the Dolphins allegations, if the tampering that costs a draft pick, whatever, like, it's not ideal, it's not good, but if he's paying to lose games, that's where the main issue is. That's where Ross should be forced to sell the team, and we can finally move on from that. But once again, we really only know one side of the story. All the teams have come out and disputed those arguments, so it's a he said, she said until maybe further progress within that. We really don't know anything. Like I said, I wasn't going to make this video. I just figured I'd address it because it would just be, I don't know, it would be weird just me going into my next videos, which I don't have ideas for, but it'd likely be like when we hire the new head coach, so, which is a whole nother issue. I guess we'll talk about it now. Rawson isn't going to be coming out and talking about this. So the next time he's talking to the media is when we hire a new head coach. And all the attention is going to be on this situation and not the new head coach, which is wrong. But also, in Ross's defense, I don't know if he can come out and hold a press conference with the media because of the legalities of it. There's a lawsuit against him. Everything he said will be used against him in the court of law. So, like, it's a fine line, but it's just unfortunate because when you hire the new head coach, the spotlight should be on the guy getting the job, not on a lawsuit against the team, and that's not fair to the coach. But it is the fault of Ross if indeed the allegations are true. So, crazy situation. Respect to Flores. I hope he gets a job. Hopefully the allegations against the Dolphins are not true, and we aren't as big of a shit show as it seems, but we probably are. So, with that being said, my next video might be the head coaching hire unless I get some kind of inspiration otherwise. So, until next time, I'll catch you guys later.